Connection today is John Wayne. The film is They Were Expendable. John Wayne and Robert Montgomery play a pair of lieutenants in charge of PT boats during the early days of World War II and lead their squadron through countless battles against the Japanese. They triumph with great victories and suffer great losses. This was John Ford's first film after he returned from World War II. He had been asked to film footage of the Pacific, and some of it made it into this movie. The fact that Ford shot the battle footage himself just makes the movie more interesting. Every scene Ford directs has vitality that furthers the plot in an interesting fashion. It never feels like they're pushing the glory of victory. The characters often look battered and bloody after every fight. Ford primarily wanted to make this film to shed light on the major sacrifices the PT boatmen made during the war. Ford shot footage and got to know many of these men on a personal level. He was even in the heat of battle with them and saw some of them die before his very eyes. He felt they weren't getting the recognition they deserved back in the United States and wanted to make a film that honored all his friends who fell in battle. In my opinion, he made a great movie that's both a loving tribute and an incredible story. As usual, John Wayne is great. Out of all his roles as soldiers, this one is my favorite. He's tough, he's smart, but he knows when to keep his cool. Robert Montgomery sticks out to me too. Montgomery saw battle in the Pacific during World War II, and it said that it changed him greatly. If you look at his films before and after the war, there's definitely a distinct shift in presence and mood. This makes his performance much different than Wayne's, and actually makes him more interesting. He's gruff and wants to show the enemy who's in charge, but he still has ethical battles he faces. He knows that sending the PT boats is often the best thing to do, but he realizes that no matter how many victories they achieve, every battle has casualties. Every casualty is a grim reminder on his conscience that those men are in their graves because of him. You can sense a lot of the pain in his face. It makes for a very gripping performance that I consider to be Robert Montgomery's best. Donna and Ward Bond are in here, and they're great additions to the cast. This film was not a hit when it came out. It was released 3 months after VJ Day, and Americans had had enough of the war. Much to the dismay of John Ford, the film went into obscurity and went unrecognized for years. Recently, it's been given a second chance and is rightfully seen as one of the best World War II movies made during the war. See it so you can see one of John Wayne and John Ford's best films.